Hello children, welcome to another session of EVS class of grade 4. So today you are going to learn a new block in social science, block for helping one another. So the aim of this class is to identify the characteristics of a good neighbor and ways to help the elderly and people with special needs. The keyword you are going to learn are neighbor, special needs, elderly, epidemic and voluntary. So let me ask you one question. How do you feel when you are sick? How you will feel? Yeah, you will feel like weak and tired when we are sick. How do you want to be treated when you are sick? We want someone to take care of us when we are sick. So today we will learn how to be a good neighbor. So here you can see two situations. First one is you are having a dance party with loud music. And the second is your neighbor is sick. So what will you do? What can you do to not disturb your neighbors while having a party? How can you help your neighbor if he or she is sick? Think. So we can reduce the volume of the music during the party to not disturb our neighbors. And we can offer to call a doctor to check whether she is or he is sick, or you can taking food and snacks for him, and we can also help him in their work. So in that way we can help them. So who is a good neighbor? What do you think a good neighbor should do or be like? So a good neighbor is someone who thinks and cares about other people living around her or him, or and not just about herself or himself. A good neighbor is always polite, helpful, respectful and patient. So a good neighbor qualities are always polite, respectful, helpful and patient. Why do you think we should be nice to our neighbors? Yeah, all of us have to live in a neighborhood with people around us. If we are nice to our neighbors, they will be nice to us too. So similarly, if we help our neighbors, they will help us too when we need it. Now, how do you spend with your grandparents or other elders in your family? Think how you are spending your time with your grandparents or other elders in your family. Yeah, we will listen to the interesting stories about their lives and also tell them about how we spend our days, all these things, right? So we can see the need to help the elderly and people with special needs. So again, here you can see some other situations. And how can we help them? The first case, old man trying to get an auto rickshaw. So how can you help them? Elderly woman with many bags at a railway station. That is the second situation. A young boy sitting on a wheelchair and a girl walking using crutches. So how will you help these cases? So we can stop an auto rickshaw to help the old man in the case of first. And we can help the elderly woman by offering to carry some of her bags. And in the third case, we can ask the boy in the wheelchair if he needs any help or not. So in that way you can help. And the fourth case, we can be friendly and play games in which the girl using crutches can participate. So in this way we can help the people who are suffering. So why do people with special needs and the elderly people need our help, and how can we help them? So an elderly person or a person who cannot see, hear or walk can feel sad and helpless because they are not able to do many things on their own and may require or they need some help. For example, they may not be able to carry something heavy or see or hear danger in front of them and get hurt. Or a person who cannot walk may need to reach the top of the floor of a building but is unable to do so because there is no ramp or lift. So in all these situations we can ask them if they need any help. So we can offer to help the elderly do various tasks like watering their plants and fetching things for them, and we can be friendly towards people with special needs and play games in which they can participate. So how can we help each other? To elders we can talk to them, we can offer them help, and people with the special needs be kind and friendly, try to play games in which they can participate in all these ways. How else do you think we can help the elderly and people with the special needs? We can also give them company, as especially the elderly people, they are getting lonely, and we can treat them with kindness and respect. Now we can look at helping the homeless. Here you can see two pictures. One is woman cooking on the road and the another one is man sleeping on the road. So where do you people live? You are living in your home, right? Do you think all people have homes to live in? No. Not all people have home to live in. So these people live on pavements and temporary shelters in the open. So they are known as homeless people. So here in this picture you can see some homeless people like man sleeping on the road and a woman cooking on the road. So they are homeless. So what we can do for those who are homeless and needy? What we can do? So we can help the homeless and needy people by sharing the food with them and giving them old clothes and blankets and giving them old toys and utensils. So in this way we can help those homeless people. And what does the government do to take care of the homeless and the needy people? So the government has built houses to provide shelter and schools for education to children, and the government provides food at lower cost for them too. So in this way government is also helping the poor homeless people. Now we can see what is the role of voluntary organization. So you might be seeing some people are working to help the poor and needy by collecting money, old clothes and other donations, right? So these are some voluntary work. So how do this voluntary organization help the poor and needy people around the world? And name some Indian organizations that work for the welfare of the poor and needy. So we know that there are many people who want to help the poor and needy around the world. So such group of people who work for the welfare of others are called voluntary organizations. So the group of people who work for the welfare of others are called voluntary organizations. So the first one is the Red Cross. So the Red Cross help the people who are affected by wars or natural disasters like earthquakes. And it helps the people by providing medical care and medicines, temporary shelter and food. And another voluntary organization is UNICEF. So UNICEF works for children all over the world by giving food and health care. And some Indian organizations that work for the welfare of the needy are missionaries of charity and CRY. So they are working for poor and needy of children. So here you can see one picture of Red Cross people, Red Cross staff. They are taking care of people who suffer in natural disaster. So how do you think we can help those who are affected in a disaster? So we can collect and distribute basic things such as food, clothes, clean utensils and medicines to the affected people. So in this way we can help those people who are affected in disaster. So I hope you understood what all things we discussed in this class. So I will come up with another topic in my next class. Thank you.